thank you guys so much for having us here. I have actually never been to Washington before, and driving through, we had an hour drive to come here. It truly is beautiful. I feel like I just want to have a cup of coffee and just cozy up and talk for the afternoon. Do you guys feel that every day? That is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous state. First of all, I want to congratulate you. I want to congratulate you on closing down, shutting down the comprehensive sex education bill. Well done. I'm going to talk just a little bit about that tonight because that really is where, it's not where my activism started, but it definitely hyper speeded it, if that's a word. It really motivated me. How many of you guys have kids in your lives? You're a mother, father, aunt, uncle, grandparents. Yeah, there's something about when people start messing with our kids that the lion comes out. My necklace is from my kids. It's a lion, and it reminds me all the time that my job is to defend them. Society in every state is a blessing, but government, even in its best state, is but a necessary evil. Thomas Paine, a major contributor to our Constitution, said that, and he would know. We are in an interesting situation, aren't we? I come from Colorado, where for the last 10 years, there's been an undermining there to strip us of all of our rights and turn us into a socialist project, literally. Literally buying up land and not allowing business owners to vote on it in order to turn it into projects in our rural areas now. They literally are coming for the heart and soul of our kids, as you've seen and are experiencing yourselves. They're looking to destroy all of our rural areas. Part of the reason that we're here tonight is because we have such a similar story. We literally have a mountain that divides us, the eastern slope from the western slope, same as you. We literally have progressive socialists trying to take our state over and literally take our ability to even vote away from us. So I thought we would set some terms before we get started, because I was surprised personally how ignorant I was to just some basic truths and some basic foundational knowledge. When I first started feeling this feeling of something's really wrong, but I don't know how to articulate it. I just know that when I'm listening to the news, I get really mad. Anybody relate with that? I can't articulate it, but it ticks me off so bad because I feel like they're taking something from me that I can't define. Does that sound right? So a few years back, I started figuring out what I believe about, what I think about, and what I think about what I think about, and what I believe. And what is the Constitution? Is it relevant? How does it apply to me now? We are built on an amazing foundation. We can trust the Constitution. It is divinely inspired, and it's not men who have given us our rights. That document was inspired by a creator, and it protects those God-given rights. They're not established by men. The only reason that men are allowed to govern is because we allow them. And someday we're going to stop allowing them that privilege.
That's right. Yes.
In our state constitution, it's actually written that we allow them to govern until such time as we don't.
Right, yes.
We have not exercised that authority just yet, but we are almost there. We are almost there. So what are we? Are we a republic or are we a democracy?
Republic.
Ooh. Say that again? We are a democratic, constitutional republic governed by a constitution.
Yes.
That's the truth. Why does that democracy part matter? We're not a democracy. If we were democracy, we would have absolute tyranny, and we don't want that. That's what we're seeing. That is actually what they're trying to do. They're trying to reduce us to chaos and tyranny, right? That's why we're not a democracy, because the founders already understood that. We are a constitutional republic, a democratic constitutional republic. That democratic portion is important because that's what allows you to take your grievances to your elected officials. So within our state, we're allowed to address our grievances. We're allowed to go to those people we put in office and tell them, hell no, you're not taking our guns. That's a preview for the best part of tonight. We're allowed to tell them, no, you're not teaching our kids comprehensive sex education. No, you're not taxing us again.
That's right.
In 1787, Benjamin Franklin was asked, what are we? And he said, a republic if you can keep it.
Yes.
One of the greatest realizations I've had, I have 4 children. I've been married for 21 years to my high school sweetheart. And he is such a patient man. I just want to celebrate the men in this room who are tolerating, well, not even tolerating, but supporting their wives' obsessions with freedom and liberty.
Yes.
It has become an obsession point
Yes.
to defend defend that and protect that. So God bless you men who are supporting your wives in that. But what I really have come to understand is that it's a responsibility for all of us to protect and preserve our constitutional rights. It's not just going to happen. It's a lot like dieting. You actually must follow through in order to lose that weight, right? It's exactly the same thing. If you don't follow through on overseeing your own freedoms, you will lose them all. And you're experiencing that here in Washington. So I love this quote. This is Alexander Hamilton. I know he's kind of a cliche right now, but I still like him a lot. If it be asked, what is the most sacred duty and the greatest source of our security in a republic, the answer would be an inviolable respect for the Constitution and the laws, the first growing out of the last. A sacred respect for the constitutional law is the vital principle and the sustaining energy of a free government. We aren't teaching our children the Constitution anymore. I'm finding the Constitution. I found the Constitution at 33 years old.
Right. Yeah.
That's a lot of years I wasn't able to stand up and preserve my own rights.
Right.
Madison's definition of a republic, I think, is really interesting. He said, if we resort for a criterion to the different principles on which different forms of government are established, we may define a republic to be, or at least may bestow that name on, a government which derives all its powers either directly or indirectly from the great body of the people. And here's our responsibility. And is administered by persons holding their office during pleasure for a limited time or during good behavior. It's our responsibility. I'm not going to get into democratic socialism. I really want to honor your time. I want to just talk about a couple of major issues. Democratic socialism is it's ignorant. The two can't coexist. That's really all we need to say about that. You have the same problem we have with the national popular vote. Yeah, your voice was taken from you as well. That's something that we decided to petition against in Colorado. We decided that our governor doesn't get to just take our voice away in electing a president of the United States of America. We only have 5 million people. We can't compete with California. We will never have a president come to our state again, and you only have like 7.4 million, right? You'll never have anyone come to your state either. You will not matter, but I tell you what, all your resources will be taken.
Right.
Everything that you love in your state will be taken to feed those giant states where the president is going to need their vote more than yours. It is such a misnomer to believe that every vote must count when we're talking about a federal election. The best thing that I heard, your vote does count because of the Electoral College. That's why your voice counts.
Yes. Yes.
I heard a really great man. We do a lot of concerned citizens rallies in our state. Guess what? We were not asked to do those. We just started doing them. And then we started inviting the public to come. We also started inviting the sheriff to come so we could remind the sheriff what his duty was.
Yes. Yes.
And I tell you what, he is extremely passionate now because he has so much support to defend his number one priority, the Constitution of the United States of America and the Second Amendment. So with that being said, I kind of lost my train of thought because that was so exciting when we got our sheriff on board. But we don't ask for permission. But the national popular vote was something that we could not let lie. So we started rallying together people from every walk of life. Democrats, independents, conservatives, and Republicans all came together for the national popular vote.
Yes.
It's to get it on a ballot so we could vote on it. Because does it make any sense to say you believe in the national popular vote but not let your people vote on whether or not they want to be a part of the national popular vote? I know. It was crazy. When we were calling the governor's office and we're like, what's wrong with you? You really don't believe in the popular vote or you would have let us vote on the popular vote. I encourage you to see what you guys can do. The Declaration of Independence was signed by just a few people. Our freedom was won by just a few people. There's more people in this room than there were that signed the Declaration of Independence.
Right. Yes.
You have the power to change things in your state. This room right here has the power to do that. We're going to talk about that tonight. I want to scare you a little bit because sometimes fear can be a great motivator. Right now, there are 189 electorates supporting the NPD. They only need 270. When that 270 number is activated, the NPD is activated. Think about that.
Wow.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Think about 155,000 counties across the nation that need a recount.
Wow.
I want you to think about that. If you believe the goal right now of your government in Washington is to create chaos to promote tyranny, what would 155,000 counties across the nation look like having to have a recount? When will we be able to declare our president? We have had peaceful transition from president to president for over 200 years now. That is such a testimony of the Electoral College, the power of the Electoral College. Remember that fact. If you got a pen, I would write that down because that's a strong one. There's no other nation that's been able to claim that except the United States of America. A peaceful transition of power, regardless of whether it was Democrats or Republicans. Isn't that incredible? It's a testament to our Constitution. So I think our founders knew that eventually we were going to come to this. It's really brilliant. I would love to read this whole quote, but I'm not going to. John Adams has an amazing quote about what he thought our nation would look like down the road. And you know what he thought it would look like? Two parties fighting for power. Notice I didn't say fighting for the people. Fighting for power. And he admonished the citizens to yield their power in the vote, but also in your activism. Our elected officials are not kings.
Right.
They work for you.
That's right.
You pay their salary. Everything that tax monies fund, you are the boss.
Amen.
Education,
Yes.
you are the boss. Roads, you are the boss. Welfare, you are the boss.
Yes.
You set the rules. Somewhere along the line, we started believing that government is king, and it is not. And I know when you hear it day in and day out on media, on TV programs, on radio, everywhere you go, that government gets to dictate your life, you start to believe it a little bit, don't you?
Yes.
That you're powerless, that you can't do anything about it. Well, I promise you, I am one person, one mom who blew her top when I saw the comprehensive sex ed bill.
Right.
And from there, it has been incredible. I want to give you permission today, and I want you to understand you will never be invited to the table. I understand we're at a largely Republican event tonight. That means nothing to me. You are not going to be invited to step up and lead.
Right.
You are going to have to make the decision that you're going to do it no matter what.
Yes.
We're here tonight because of one man who decided, I don't care if I've been given permission or not. I'm going to tell what is going on here. And I'm going to face whatever consequences are coming for me. I'm going to take those, aren't we? We're here because a man stood up and said, I don't care. My obligation is not to a party or to a government. It is to my own self. I have to be able to look at myself and know that I did my civic responsibility. And I love that you have a future governor who believes in God here tonight as well.
Amen.
Thank you. I want you to know, my father-in-law, who's the best man I know, besides my husband, he watched your video and said, that looks like a good guy.
Yes.
So Jay Inslee is your governor. And I'm going to walk through this quickly because I want to empower you. I want you to be hope-filled tonight.
Yes.
You're not coming here just to get filled up and leave. You're coming here to get filled up, figure out what you can do, and get back out there and be activated. Okay? It's not like, sometimes we do this with church, right? We go to church and we're like, I heard my word from Jesus, I'm good for the rest of the week.
Right.
We're not going to do that tonight. We're going to hear what we hear and we're going to go home and we're going to be activated. Your governor believes like my governor. He says that he's focused on jobs, education, clean energy, and building a Washington that works for everyone. Verbatim, that's our Colorado governor as well. Except he raises taxes, he implements more regulations, he fosters comprehensive sex education, he takes your money to spend on wasteful mental health services. Yes, I said it. And by the way, any bills from here on out that are flagged with mental health and education, don't believe the lie. I give you permission right now not to be guilted and shamed into agreeing with those bills. Don't let them take one more penny from you to fund absolutely ridiculous policy that is not about mental health, and it certainly is not about educating kids.
Correct.
Don't let them take one more. They promote the Green New Deal, the legalization of THC products for minors on your school grounds.
Wow.
Parents, why are you not rallying at the foot of your school, the door of your schools?
Yes.
Why would you let them get away with this? This is your responsibility. Like I figured out, it was my responsibility not to allow them to pass comprehensive sex education through the door of my school. I'm one person, but when one person stands up, everyone else gets activated around them. You have that power. You have that power. Even if you're an introvert, you can find a way to exercise it. Gender confirmation is really fun here. And of course, mandatory vaccines. Whether you like vaccines or not, I thought this was America. Since when are we okay with people holding down children and forcibly injecting them? Since when? this has, again, don't let them shame you. Do not let them shame you into thinking that you don't care about kids because you say no. The government cannot put whatever they want into my child's body or my body.
Right.
No way.
Right.
That sounds a little bit like Nazi Germany to me.
Yes.
You have one bill that I just want to point your attention to. Oh, the time is going so fast. And that is HB 1000. This is a really concerning bill, actually, that I wanted to bring your attention to. This is one you can still fight now. This one right here is about equality. It's the Equalization Act, basically. It's the Equality Act that the federal government is trying to pass as well. What it does is it has set women back 100 years in the state of Washington. It allows for boys to be in girls' spaces. It allows for boys to have gynecological exams. It says that literally men are better at being women.
Wow.
That's what this bill said that you guys passed, or not you, but your representatives passed, House Bill 1000. It's not too late to do something about this bill. As I said before, children have been the reason that America's mom was born. My children and their innocence is of vital importance to me. And I suggest in your state, you fought it last time. Stay diligent and fight it again. All that is necessary for evil men to prevail is what?
Good thing to do nothing.
That's absolutely right. You have a calling on each one of you tonight to stand up, not just for yourselves, but for the America that you want for your children. Thank you.